Hey guys, this is Josh back with Cardboard Chronicles. Today I have a little bit of a different episode. I don't have an interview set up today. I just got back from National a couple days ago, so I thought I'd do something a little different and give you guys a recap of what I encountered at National, show you guys some of the cards that I picked up, some experiences that I had, walk you through that, and also answer some questions that you guys might have about going next year possibly. I know I had a lot of questions going into it, and I was able to pick up some knowledge while I was there the last couple days. So I went out Wednesday in the afternoon, and I got there about 6 Cleveland time, and then I got back to where I'm at here in Arizona on Friday night. So it was a pretty short trip. I was only there, 3 days, like 48 hours total. I think next year I'll probably end up going a little bit longer, but it was still a good amount of time to get a lot of stuff done, see a lot of cool people. So I'll just walk you through a list of topics that I have about the National, and hopefully it'll help you guys out for next year. So one thing that I thought about a lot beforehand, and I know a lot of people ask, is what cards do I bring? That one's tough. It kind of depends on what your goal is. For me, I wasn't planning on selling any of my cards, so it was a little bit tougher of a decision. So I decided to bring everything I had, and I ended up being glad that I did, because one of the main things about National is hanging out with everybody and showing off your collections to each other, and that ended up being one of the highlights of the trip for me, just sitting down with other collectors, showing my cards off, taking a look at what everyone else had, sharing stories about the cards. It's a really nice starter for conversation, and it makes it a lot more fun that way, as opposed to just showing each other your flicker or whatever. But I would warn that if you do not want to sell your stuff, to be careful about what you bring. People are going to find out you have it, and you're going to get offers, and it can turn into a pressure situation if you're not ready to sell. The dealers will actually sense what cards you have, and they'll start asking you what other cards you have, and it can snowball pretty quick. So just be cautious of that and keep the cards close to you if you're not wanting certain people to know what you brought. Storage. People asked me about that, and I was unsure as well. So I ended up bringing a backpack, and then I brought just this like dome box. I told a couple other people about it. It's pretty nice. It just held all my cards. I've just filled with everything that I had, filled it up to the brim, and then put that in my backpack. And then I got like a lock for my backpack, and that worked out well. I saw a couple other guys had rolling bags, which I think I'll do next year. For some reason I thought like having rolling bags, it wouldn't be as close to me, and it made me more nervous, but it worked out great for a lot of guys, and after a while my shoulders started to hurt with the backpack, so I'd probably go with the rolling bag. What days should you go? So like I said, I went Wednesday, and then I was there all day Thursday, all day Friday, and I left Friday at the end of the show to go home. I think that's a pretty good amount of time. I would probably recommend at least one more day. If you can, I would go as early Wednesday as you can. That's when the show first opens, and you'll be able to get those early deals. And if some of the cards that you're looking for go in the first couple hours, you might miss out on some big stuff. So I would recommend going Wednesday, and then probably through Saturday. I don't know, what happened on Saturday and Sunday, so I can't speak to that. I just know that I would have liked to have one more day, and based on what I've seen on Instagram and stuff, Sunday was kind of a slower day, so I would recommend Wednesday through Saturday. 3 nights is probably about the sweet spot. One other thing I would mention is that try to go with a friend. So Adam, the 27 guy, and we sort of like accidentally just like worked our way ended up going together and staying at the hotel. I met up with him at the hotel, and that ended up being really great. We hung out a lot. We talked cards the first night we were there a lot. We went to the show together every day. We shared an Uber. Ended up going back to the airport at the same time. So it worked out really well. We actually saw a guy at the airport who we were talking to him on the way out, and he said that he didn't have as much fun as he usually did because he went by himself. And he said it was just kind of a bummer, like eating dinner by himself, traveling by himself, going to the show by himself. He said it wasn't as much fun. So if you can, try to find a buddy to pair up with, at least one other guy, maybe like 3 or 4, and try and stay at the same hotel. It just makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable to have another collector with you, as opposed to just, only seeing people at the show itself. Everything around the show, getting to it, the before and after is all part of the experience. So I would try and get someone else that, you can share that with. I know Adam and I had a great time, so he'd probably tell you the same thing. So when we got to the show, the first daunting thing you run into is just the actual size of the show itself and how many aisles there are, booths. It's pretty daunting. So when you get there, figure out like what you want to see and what booths you want to try to hit. I know Adam and I tried to hit every single booth just because it was our first one. We tried to just actually see everything. So with that, we just like went up and down the aisles. And that's very difficult to do as well. You get distracted, you see people, you hit a booth you get stuck at, and you kind of just get lost. So try to figure out the layout of the floor in the first few minutes you're there and figure out where everything is. Usually like the first 2/3 of it basically are going to be vintage baseball because the priority of the tables is set by how long you've been setting up at the show. So the people at the front have been there a long time, so they have sort of the the older baseball stuff. And then as you work your way back, you get into the basketball and football stuff, which is what I was looking for basketball stuff. So most of my sweet spot was in the after the halfway point and then all the way back. So figure out what your priority is in terms of what you're looking for. You may end up just sticking to a certain area of the show floor, and that's okay. But if you are trying to hit everything, you can be pretty quick with it depending on what you're looking at. I didn't look through any of the dollar box stuff, and I know a lot of guys do, and that takes up a lot of your time. So just be aware of that. So go into it having a plan. I knew this was coming, and I'd seen a lot of other tips, telling you to do this. So what I did was I actually made a photo album on Google Photos just on my phone. And I took, I found Google Images screenshots, or I went to other people's Flickr accounts and got pictures of cards that I wanted. And then I put all that in an album of, my wants. And then I put down prices that I was hoping to pay for those, or, the top dollar that I would pay for that card. So I just went through PWCC's database to search the last sales of the cards, eBay's last sale, and gathered up some information of what I figured was a fair price, and then also like what's the max I'm willing to pay, because the prices at National are quite a bit higher than what you're used to seeing. Part of that's because they're expecting you to negotiate it down, and some of it's just people showing off. So be ready to have a price in mind. You don't want to get up there and then have to pull out your phone and go through eBay and everything. It'd be nice to have like a list of everything you want, know what you're looking for, and it makes the deals a lot quicker and a lot smoother. And the next thing that I'll hit on is what I consider to be the most important part of the show, at least for me it was. Set aside a lot of time to talk with other collectors. There'll probably be people that you're expecting to meet there. I would just set aside at least 2 or 3 hours every day to meet up with those people, either message them on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, whatever you have to meet up with people. Go to where there's tables over by the food court area or wherever you can find open tables and just hang out and talk with the people. That's really where I have the best memories of National so far, and that was my best experience. Was I met up with Double X the Beast, Michael. We chatted for a while, and his friend Andy. Those guys, we just talked for an hour about what cards they had. I got to see a lot of what Andy had. He's looked at my cards. We basically know already what each other had, but it was cool to just see it in person, see each other, hang out. I talked with Hardcore Heroes on Instagram. We talked for a while. I looked through all of his cards. That was really cool. Another one I had was Rorgan. He's another Penny PC guy on Instagram. We talked for a while, just talking about Penny Hardaway himself, and he's actually met him a bunch of times. So we had a really great chat there. He even gave me a card for free, which was awesome. I wasn't expecting that. We just talked for a long time, and I looked through all of his cards, and it was really great. I wish I would have done more. I mean, I met up with a couple other guys like Grant Slayton. We didn't have enough time to chat and look at each other's cards, and I wish we would have set aside more time. So definitely make time for that and plan it with whoever you're hoping to meet up with there. Set aside time with them and figure out how to get that done, because it ends up being a really great experience, and it's the best part of the show in my opinion. So really set aside time for that. I can't stress that enough. So I was touching on earlier about what cards to bring. So I just want to hit on it a little bit more. If you don't want to sell something, and it really is locked into your PC, and you don't even want to listen to offers, do not bring those cards out in front of dealers, because I had a couple tables where I was looking at some LeBron cards and I was interested in a few, so I'd actually pull out my PC and show hey, I'm looking for something like this, or here's basically what I have. Do you have something similar? To give them an idea of what I collect, and then it basically immediately reversed into, oh, I see what you have. let's buy this stuff off of you instead. And they weren't even like focused on selling me anything. And that really was frustrating for me because then I had to be like, well, I'm not selling and I'm hoping to buy. And then they were turned off by me, not being open to trade or sell, and they were frustrated and they'd move on. So just be careful of that. Some dealers, won't be that way and they'll just enjoy looking at your cards and chatting about it, but some dealers won't, and it's really straight to business. So just be mindful of that. I know I had a couple iffy experiences with dealers, but that's a little bit on me as well for, wanting to show people cards, and really that's not what the dealers are there for. So just be mindful of that and be respectful of their time. So I'll learn from that next time, and that's why I said also, set aside time for showing your cards off to other collectors, because that's what they're for. The dealers are there for different reasons, so just be careful of that. And they'll actually some dealers are a little bit overly aggressive and grabbing your cards and organizing them and throwing out numbers really quick, and it can all happen pretty fast. So just be ready for that. Next time if I'm going to a dealer booth, I'm really going to keep my stuff in my bag. And if I am willing to trade or sell something, I'll have that closer to me, ready to put out on the table. But most of the stuff's going to stay in my bag unless I absolutely have to get it out. Let's see. One thing I noticed, this isn't the fault of anyone individually or as a group, but the hangouts at night weren't very well planned. So I would try to organize if you have a large group of people you're wanting to hang out with at night, either dinner or getting drinks or whatever it might be. Try to plan that, just because a lot of time gets wasted on where are we going, where are we meeting. So if you can plan that ahead of time, that'd be great. Say we're all going to meet at spot X for dinner and drinks, and then we're going to go do this. If it's all planned out, just because when you're there everything's kind of hectic and you don't really want to spend your time planning out things like that. You really just want to focus on making sure you look at all the cards, talking with other guys. It's a really short amount of time. Time goes by fast, so try to plan everything out in terms of what you're doing at night beforehand. I think I'll probably try to lead something like that next year and get things more organized. That's partly just my personality. I like it organized, but I think it saves everybody a lot of time and makes it more enjoyable for the rest of the day. Next, take a lot of pictures with collectors. I hung out with Rodman Martinez a lot, Rodman PC. Check out his Instagram. He's got some sick stuff. He took pictures with everybody, and I'm now looking back at his Instagram, I'm really jealous. I took a lot of pictures with other collectors, but not as much as I should have. I should have actually just gotten pictures with everybody. I know Kiki does this, Croatian twins. He spends a lot of time making sure he gets in his pictures and gets in those moments with all those people, and that's really important. Especially looking back, after the trip, it's nice to have all those pictures on hand that you can, remember who you met, what you guys talked about at all. The pictures really remind you the best. So props to Rodman for that. And I'm in a lot of his pictures, thankfully. So thanks for getting those pictures that I can have. One thing that I wasn't sure was going to happen, but I think everyone should try to do is try to meet new people while you're there. Try to... If there's someone that that you've seen online, or maybe a large presence in the community that you're maybe afraid to talk to, or someone that just go up to them and say hey. I did this with a couple guys. I know I've been watching what Eric's been doing by Nice Cards. Shout out to Eric. He's got a great setup. He's got a great business he's running right now. I'm really impressed with what he has. So I walked by his table a couple times and struck up conversation with him. That ended up being really great. He's an awesome guy. I know we've had some dealings through eBay that weren't 100% smooth, and that happens with a lot of guys. So just seeing them in person and talking with them ends up changing your opinion of everybody. I know there's other guys that had experiences like that where they had some sort of riff on blowout or whatever it is, and they met in person and it was all good. So I think everyone has positive intent, or everyone should go into it with a positive mindset of who they're meeting and who they've had experiences with online. So it's cool to just see everybody in person. So go out of your way to say hey to somebody. A lot of people did that with me because of the channel and stuff, and I thought that was really great. I love just talking with everybody. So do the same thing. Everyone's there to have a good time. So just go out of your way and try to meet someone new. Maybe something great comes out of it. Maybe you strike up some sort of deal that you weren't expecting or whatever it is. So I would spend some time doing that. It always ends up being a good thing. Another piece of advice is just have fun. There's going to be people you run into where you have a bad encounter, whether it's a dealer, another collector, there's going to be some bad encounter. Just brush it off and move on. And the big thing here is to have your group of people that you're there with or that you're friends with, and just stick with that group. Really, like, I know I'm saying like branch out and meet new people and stuff, but if you do have a bad encounter and you're just like looking for just have your home base, like know where you want to go back and just like find your buddies and brush it off and be there to have fun. Because like it's not just you that wants to have fun. There's almost everybody there is there to have fun. So find that group of guys that you're willing to spend a lot of time with, make a home base, and because I know I had one pretty bad experience, and I went right back to Justin's table, 610 Sports Cards. I went back to his table where kind of everyone congregates. You know, Joe SP Authentic was there, Kiki was there a lot of the day, Matt MGO Blue, Nick. A lot of guys. I know I'm missing some guys. Sorry. But that's kind of where we all like went back to home base, and I went back there and explained the story, and everyone's like, "Yeah, whatever, man. Like, just get back out there, have fun. Don't worry about it. You know, that guy's a prick, whatever." So it's nice to have that group, you know, to fall back to. So try to set that up if you can, and just remember, like, this is all for fun. It's just cardboard in the end. I know the money sort of like dominates in the end, but just remember you're there to have fun, find cardboard, talk sports. That's what it comes down to. So focus on that if you can. I ended up going to the trade night. I wasn't sure if I was going to go, and I'm glad I did. Me, Adam, Rodman, Joe, Justin, I think that's everybody. We went to the trade night, and it ended up being really awesome. We met some insanely impressive young men there. There were kids that were 15 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old that had better collections than I do, which frankly I wasn't expecting, but it's pretty impressive what some of these kids have. And I know Rodman made an Instagram post about it, just like how impressed he is with the younger generation of collectors, and you know that the future of collecting is in good hands. And I couldn't agree more. These kids they really know their stuff. And at first I was expecting. I met Adam. I'm blanking on his Insta. Rips Cards. Sorry. Shout out to Rips Cards. I sat next to him for a while, and I just figured like, oh, he'll have, you know, some cool stuff. Let's take a look. And he opened up his box, and I was like, wow, you know, take a look at his Instagram. He's got some insane stuff, and I was just really impressed by him. Also, Card Collector 291. I hung out with him. Rodman, Adam, and I hung out the second night, and we all talked cards like the whole night, and it was great. And Mike, he knows Card Collector 291. He knows a lot of stuff too. He's just got a ton of knowledge, and I was just blown away by the young collectors. So get out to trade night if you can. See what the young kids are doing. Trade night was set up. It was great. Card Collector 2, that was just really well set up by him and the Instagram folks. I was really impressed. Adam and I commented that, 27 guy, we commented that the name tags were just like a great simple idea that we should try to do for the entire main convention itself. It made it a lot easier to like figure out who everybody was, and there wasn't that weird awkward moment of like, who are you, what's your handle. You kind of just got through that phase quick. So that was really great. The trade night itself was really cool. I would recommend that if you can make it to it. And finally, I will just go through my pickups. I know people want to see some cards, so I'll show off what I grabbed. And then also a really cool pickup story that Adam shared on Blowout, but I'll explain it here. So first I met up with Brian Wells, another penny collector, and we sort of struck a deal before National, but I'll just show what the deal was. He got me 3 Penny Hardaway Legacy cards. Oops, let me get it so you can actually see it. So this is 98.99 row 1. This is a cool card, number 299. Really great card there. This is 98.99 row 2. Again, nice card here. I've been looking for these for a while, and I didn't have this one yet. And then, 96.97 row 2. Another great legacy card. So I picked up 3 legacies from Brian. Thanks, Brian. Brian's always really easy to deal with. Great guy. So if you need Penny Hardaway stuff, that's the best one to get it from. And then he also got me the Star Quest Gold. This one's numbered to 100, 98.99 upper deck. I've been looking for this one for a long time. There's always been some overpriced ones on eBay that I've just stayed away from. This one's numbered to 100, but it's still like super tough to find. And Brian, I'll tell you, these are always in terrible condition, and this one's really nice. So thanks for this one, Brian. I think we did when we came up with a good price and fair deal, and it was really quick. I met up with him and got that done pretty quick. So the number one card that I was going for, I knew that Don Danielle, the LeBron collector on Instagram, had this card, and I knew he was bringing it, and he knew I wanted it. So we started talking about it pretty early on the first day that I was there, and then we talked about it, came up with some numbers. I thought about it the first night, and then Thursday came back with cash in hand, ready to make the deal done. So I'm really happy to announce that I did pick this guy up. This was number one on my want list for quite a while now. It's just an amazing auto. Really nice, clean design. The 23, it's got hollow foil around it. The auto is really slick and nice looking. It's numbered to 23. There's the back. He had it graded BGS 9. I cracked it out. I'll do PSA. Hopefully get a PSA Mint 9. I like the PSA cases better, and it's consistent with my collection. So thanks, Don. Really great deal again. We ended up chatting for a while about LeBron stuff. He's an awesome guy. We had some good laughs, and we hung out for a while, and I got to look at all his stuff, which was a lot of fun. So I really cherished that moment. We got some good pictures of the deal, and he knows how much I love this card. He knows how much, how big of a LeBron collector I am. So he was happy to get that into my PC and making sure it gets into another LeBron collector's hands. The next one, Joe and Justin had this card, and I went to the show knowing I'd probably buy one of theirs, and Joe got a good offer on his, sold one of his, and then Justin had two of these actually, and then he got a great offer on one of his cards, sold that. So then it was kind of like my last chance on Friday to get the deal done with the third and final one, so I did. Cash offer, Justin, shout out to you, man. You got me an amazing deal. I definitely underpaid for this one. I won't say how much, so I really appreciate it, Justin. I won't forget that. This is an amazing card. It was in an older BGS slab, and I cracked it out. We talked about that before. He knew I was going to crack it. It looks a lot cleaner for me now outside the BGS case. I like it in the magnet, and the auto looks a lot cleaner. The BGS case was just a little bit older, and it was a little bit cloudy, so it's hard to see. But now that I've got it out, I'm super excited about this one. This one's numbered to 99. Really amazing set. I know Rodman will show off a card that he got from that set that he was pumped about. So we both got our chronologies. Sorry, I will explain what it is. It is the 2007-2008 Upper Deck Chronology Timeless Memories series, and this is depicting LeBron going for a slam against Detroit Pistons in that 48-point epic Game 5 in Detroit. So I got my two LeBron autos, I got my Legacies, I got my Star Quest Gold, picked up a couple other, I got the card from Rorgan, so I got that card as well. It was a penny that I needed for my PC. The last one was, so I was just talking with another collector, walking around. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but Adam, 27 guy, texted me and he says, "Hey, I found the card of the show for you. Get over here right now, aisle 2000 or whatever it was." So I saw his text and immediately ran over to where he was, saw him, and Adam was just sort of subtly motioning towards the card, and I was like, which one are you looking at? He's like, the penny in the corner, trying not to make a big deal of it, so the dealer didn't know that I was would freak out if I saw it. And I saw it, and Adam's like, I'll let you guys figure out a deal. I'll meet you over here later. So I was talking to the dealer, threw out a price. He came back with another price. I came back with another. We sort of went back and forth for a little bit. It was probably not more than 30 seconds. Came up with a price I thought was fair. So I'll just show you guys what it is. It's the 1994 Topps Finest Lottery Prize refractor, test refractor. So if you don't know what this is an insanely rare 90s card. I was reading about it the other day, and apparently Topps had made, there's a ton of these in the non-refractor. They printed a ton of these, but they made a few of the refractor variations as a test, and I guess they accidentally inserted some of these in the packs, and then once Topps found out that these were getting out into packs, they stopped them. So the rumor is 5 to 10 of these copies got into packs of each player. So these are just like super tough to find. Adam was texting me today like, dude, this thing is like tougher to find than PMGs. So really awesome card. The centering's not the best, but I don't even care. Like, it's still got the peel, which is amazing. Like, the history and the story behind this card is incredible. So I was really happy to pick this up. It was like my needle in the haystack. And I think this is why you go to National. Even though you may not find everything you're looking for, and not everyone's gonna have some awesome story like this, but just the unknown of National is why you go, and you might hit it big with something like this. I thought I got a great deal on it. I don't know what these go for. They're so rare. I don't think anyone can pinpoint. There's no like market value, so I paid what I thought was right, and now I have this incredible card that I've never seen before ever on eBay, in person, Instagram. I've never even seen one, and now I have one. So that was just kind of that's all I got in terms of cards. I know it's a lot. I did pretty well. I'm really happy with the pickups that I made. Not everyone's gonna have this sort of success, and I understand that. So only one of these was with a dealer, and that was the refractor. The rest were people that I knew, that would be there, that would have these cards anyways. So that's again why I keep stressing, meeting up with other collectors, getting to know everybody. That's the important part of it, and it ends up that's how I got my cards anyways. So it was a win-win in that situation. So there's cards that you guys will find at dealers that you'll like. Just for me, the prices were too high. I didn't want to move on any of them, and the cards that I bought from people I knew ended up getting me the better deal. I felt more comfortable with the deals, so it made the whole experience a lot more enjoyable for me. So that's all I got, guys. If you guys have any questions about other things at National, or you guys have any other stories you want to share about your experiences, hit me up. Comment on YouTube. Hit me up on Blowout. JJohnson814. Hit me up on Instagram. You guys know where to find me. See you guys next time. See ya. I do have some monster interviews coming up, so I'll tease you for that. I've got some really great interviews in the next couple weeks lined up. So that's all I got. See ya.